Welcome back, valued viewers. We're looking at some interesting stuff today. My name is Adam, and this is all the news. Yeah, and I thought we'd look at this article, which has just came out today, about our Stanford slash law professor. Not really. There she is, Michele Dauber. She always reminds me of one of the Stygian witches. You remember those in Clash of the Titans? And they had they had to share an eyeball between the three of them. So you got this one, you got the Sea Witch, and you got another one as well. And they're really called the Graeae, Graeae, the Stygian witches. Yeah, so this is, why am I talking about Stygian witches when we could be talking about Michele Dauber? This she is. Stanford University has taken appropriate steps, regarding the law professor, not really, harassing and sexist tweets. She's a sociology teacher, not a law teacher, but there we go. So Stanford University, we know it well, is looking into law professor Michele Dauber for comments made on Twitter that some people are calling harassment and sexist. Well, that's me. According to Stephen Chen, Stanford Title IX coordinator. I'm not sure what this is. I come from the UK, so Title IX things, don't know what they are. We do take allegations of sexual harassment seriously and want to assure you that we are taking appropriate steps in response to your message. Now, if I ever hear that sort of stuff from a corporate entity, you know nothing's going to happen. That's marketing speak, if ever I've heard any. That's platitudes and palm off, if ever I've seen it. Chen said in a December email, yeah, of course he did. Chen and Stanford University were asked to clarify what appropriate steps were happening, but neither has responded. You do surprise me, because they just give these platitudes and then they walk away. Until you keep hassling them, until they have to do stuff, they'll just keep pumping out platitudes until you die of boredom or hopefully go away, or the issue gets forgotten about. Chen's December email was a response to Kursat Pekgöz, CEO of a Turkish real estate company, who expressed concerns about Dauber's conduct. Yes, I've got concerns myself. Pekgöz's discussion about the complaint on YouTube can be found here. He later filed a formal complaint against Dauber on January 1st, 2023, that was 22 days ago, demanding an investigation against her for extreme gender partisanship. You are not wrong, my friend. And various acts of harassment. This is one of her delightful tweets that she comes up with. I remember she's a teacher at a law university. Of all the people, of all the women who suck up to male power, women lawyers are the absolute worst of the bunch. Stanford law professor slash sociology professor. This is a law professor saying women lawyers are the worst. You can't even make it up, to be honest. Desperate to prove that they're real lawyers, unlike your good self, and understand that being a woman undermines their identity as lawyers. It doesn't, does it? It doesn't at all. They throw women under the bus as hard and fast as they can. This is rampant, basic lunacy. It's just hostile. It's delusional. It's incomprehensible. It makes no real sense, especially coming from someone who actually works at Stanford University in the law department. It makes no sense, considering most of the student body are female, or the larger number, more than 50% of the legal student body is female. So you're saying more than half of them are desperate to prove they're real lawyers and understand that being a woman undermines their identity as lawyers is frankly ludicrous. Because these allegations encompass both Title IX violations and ethical infractions, the complaint urged a joint jurisdiction between the Stanford Office of Ethics and Compliance and the Title IX Office. So we better have a little look at this petition. Here it is, change.org. Have Stanford fire or reprimand Michele Dauber after her racist, sexist and misandrist rants. That's all she seems to do. Tenured Stanford professor Michele Dauber's misandrist, racist and sexist remarks are out of control. Using her Twitter account, which is now closed down, Mrs. Dauber, can you imagine being married to her? It doesn't bear thinking of. Mrs. Dauber referred to Johnny Depp's superb lawyer Camille Vasquez as a skirt, pick-me girl and other various racist and sexist slurs. Michele Dauber has also labelled Pirates of the Caribbean as racist for not depicting Caribbean slaves in a Disney film. She's incredibly hostile and very delusional, is this woman. So if you do fancy popping down, I'll leave this in the description, and you can sign the petition if you fancy it. We're up to 10,733, trying to get to 15,000. Becomes one of the most signed petitions on Change.org. Lovely, lovely person. What else is going on? There's loads of weird stuff going on today. I was looking at this. Prince Andrew, you remember all this stuff that was kicking off about Prince Andrew? He was meant to have, where is she? He's meant to have slept with this girl when she was really young. And what is actually going on? And everyone was like, oh, it's outrageous. Paedophile, Prince, geez, outrageous. He should be hung, drawn and quartered. He should be cast out and all this stuff. Anyway, Prince Andrew looks to overturn multi-million-pound Virginia Giuffre settlement. The Duke consults a legal team after the accuser drops separate sex abuse claim against US lawyer, admitting she may have made a mistake. All right. She may have made a mistake. Or she may have tried to extort loads of money and then thought better of it. The Duke of York, the Grand Old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. The Duke of York is to make a legal bid to overturn the multi-million-pound settlement he struck with the sexual abuser, the sexual abuse accuser. It has been claimed. So he made a settlement, a multi-million-pound settlement to this woman. Essentially, everyone believed it was for her silence. But it seems that he was pressured into it by the royal family. Let's have a look. Prince Andrew is said to have consulted lawyers after Virginia Giuffre dropped a separate sexual abuse claim against US lawyer Alan Dershowitz, admitting she may have made a mistake in claiming he had abused her as a teenager. Right. The Duke is understood to believe that the extraordinary development following an 8-year legal battle prompted serious questions over Ms. Giuffre's credibility. Well, it clearly does. He is now said to be in discussions about how to force a retraction or even an apology from Ms. Giuffre, which could pave the way for a return to royal duties. So all of this could have been just her word that everyone took as the truth, and then he was forced into paying a huge amount of money, and then everyone said, oh, well, he must be guilty then. What else is going on? The King Charles, will not oppose any further legal action his brother might take to clear his name, according to reports. This isn't about the money. A source told the Mail on Sunday of the Duke he wants to see what legal routes might be available to him. This isn't about the money. He wants a route back to some sort of normality after a deeply trying period. I can tell you with confidence that Prince Andrew's team is now considering legal options. Legal experts suggest the Duke would have to file a motion to vacate the stipulation of settlement. Motion is a demand, vacate is to get rid of, stipulation is a thing you have to do, and settlement is paying a settlement to someone. So they're basically trying to get rid of it. Providing reasons to overturn the deal, such as fraud, duress, mistake, or accident. So which one was it, Ms. Virginia? Was it fraud? Was it fraud, Miss Virginia? Was it duress? Were you forced into it? Did someone threaten you? Was it just a mistake? You were mistaken and you didn't happen to be there? And it didn't happen to happen? Was it an accident? Was it fraud? Was it fraud? It came as Ghislaine Maxwell, there she is, a former girlfriend of sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, defended her dear friend the Duke in a television interview from a Florida jail where she's serving 20 years after being found guilty of child sex trafficking and other charges. Maxwell claimed she did not introduce Prince Andrew to Ms. Giuffre and insisted that she believed a now infamous photograph of them taken together, or of them together taken at her London home in 2001 was a fake. Is this fake? So it's a fake photo and perhaps a mistake, she says, and perhaps none of this is real, and he became slandered and set up and had to pay because the royal family demanded it, because they were worried about the publicity. Is this a fake photo? See the flash of the camera. Does it look like two separate backgrounds? Very strange indeed. She told, this is Ghislaine, she told Talk TV that the Duke should be uplifted by the collapse of the Dershowitz case as it cast new doubt on Miss Guthrie's account. Her story, frankly, has changed multiple times. It's very hard to know what's really true or not, she said, adding that the true story has yet to unfold. She said, the photograph, I've no memory of the meeting, and I don't think the picture is real. Wow, there's no original of that photo, only copies of it that have been produced, copies of copies. Parts of it, according to some experts, look like it's been photoshopped. Well, it kind of does, but it kind of doesn't. Wow, so strange. So it could have all been a lie, and he's been forced to pay all this money, and all of it was a lie set up. Ms. Guthrie accused Prince Andrew of raping and abusing her 3 times in 2001 when she was 17. She sued him in 2020, setting in train a bitter 6-month legal battle. The Duke has always vehemently protested his innocence and was determined to take the civil case to trial to clear his name. However, Buckingham Palace urged him to settle as the lurid claims increasingly dominated the news agenda and threatened to overshadow last year's Platinum Jubilee celebrations. So the two sides reached an out-of-court settlement. So he was forced into settling. He wanted to go to court and they wouldn't let him. Wow, how strange. So maybe none of it was true at all. Maybe it was another false accusation by women who know that there's big money to be made. How very strange. Very strange indeed. Oh, and these are the Stygian witches that I was looking at earlier. Or is it, which one is it? Or is it these ones? I'm not sure. So it's Stygian witches. They were captured by Perseus, something like that. Well, there you go. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think it was all made up and it was all some stitch up by her and her friends or her organisers, by her legal team, by something? Did he not? Is this a lie? Is this a setup? Very strange indeed. It's all very strange these days. Everything's gone very strange. I'm very confused by the whole thing. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. It's do you believe Andrew, or do you believe this girl? What is her name? Proper name? What is her proper name? Virginia. I can't pronounce that properly. Guthrie. Virginia Guthrie. Do you believe Andrew, or do you believe Virginia Guthrie? Let me know. Okay. Like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys later.